Hi guys, me again, of course. Um, let's see. Today I want to talk about the show I was watching on my DVR called "What Would You Do." If you've never heard of it, it's on ABC by the host is John Quinones, right? It's basically putting scenarios and seeing how people would react to it with hidden cameras, kind of like Punked but more serious. So the first subject that came up was domestic abuse. And they're trying to see if there's any changes they can make in situations that will make people less likely to respond. You know, what happens? A couple comes in, and the guy's basically the woman's already bruised and battered, and actors of course, and the boyfriend comes in. He's roughing her up inside the store, demeaning her with all kinds of words, and everybody in the restaurant is quite aware of what's going on. When the white lady, when it's a white couple, someone came immediately to her aid. When it was a black couple, they wouldn't let the black woman leave with the man when they were about to leave. So those were all good. However, when those women were dressed more provocatively, they got no responses. The white couple, nothing. No one came to talk to her. No one came to comfort her. Nothing. The black couple, they just assumed the girl was a prostitute, a whore, and that it was her pimp, and they had got into a more emotional relationship, whatever. Like, it was like the pimp and hoe that found love, which, that's really sad, because even if they were a whore or a hoe, did it really deserve to get beaten? I don't think so. See, the fact of the matter is, a lot of people feel like, I guess they assume that she deserves it because she's a whore, and that's what she chose to be. That's the lifestyle she chose. But that could be a whole nother topic for like 10 minutes about how these people most of the time do not choose their lifestyle, to just fall into it. And though I don't condone it, I mean, life sucks for some people. Some people feel like they have nowhere else to turn. But anyway, point is, nobody did anything for these people. So, I wonder what anybody else would have done in this situation. Would it have mattered how this person was dressed? If you see a woman battered, would you actually go help her, try to get her help? Because really, even though she won't leave, as long as you did something, it means a lot, Another topic was breastfeeding in public, which I have never seen before. I don't know if you have. I think that would weird me out too. Yeah, I think it would weird me out. However, I know that it's their right, like if I saw someone breastfeeding, and if it did weird me out, I'd just go about my way. But a lot of times they get some reactions where they're told to leave a place, like if they're in a cafe or whatever. And mind you, these women, I'm sure they're not just pulling their boob out. Like, they have the nursing bras, which, they could feed the baby through. And they usually cover up the baby so you don't see anything. You just know that they're breastfeeding. But, with all those people, let's see, they had a white mother, a black mother, and a teen mother. And most of the time the customers came to their assistance, like, not really their assistance, but defended them. Because, like, what are you going to do? The owner tells you to leave. Like, you can't tell them you can't make her leave. However, they came to their defense saying, breastfeeding is natural, it's beautiful. And you really shouldn't you shouldn't stop her from doing it. The teen mom, it took them a little while. In fact, one person actually was like, he pointed out the legality, like tried to protect the owner from that instead of trying to defend the girl, which, whatever. Breastfeeding in public, I've never seen it happen, so I don't know how I'd react to it, so I don't know what the normal reaction I feel should be. But I can imagine it's a little weird. Whether I tell people to leave a place, if I feel like they should leave a place, if I don't see anything that wouldn't get you arrested, I don't get why it's that serious. But like I said, it's something I've never experienced, so can't really say for sure. One example that was with a woman drinking and breastfeeding her baby, she got hella reactions. Like, You know, like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be drinking that beer. In fact, one of the guys told her not to drink the beer and just leave. She's like, oh, well, I paid for it. He's like, I'll pay for it. Which was really cool because he was like a young college man defending breastfeeding. Wicked cool. What else was there? Oh, and the last situation that came up was a frustrated mom abandoning her screaming kids. Because there was this lady in Westchester that, I think Westchester, Maryland, I'm not really sure, but in Westchester, she left her kids on the curb and was like, walk your behinds home, basically. She got arrested and I think the charges were dropped. But so they gave this example, and first they gave an example of a ordinary family, you know, not the perfect car, not the perfect clothes, and immediately, like, the mom is like coming out the car, telling the kids to get out, and this guy just runs, like, books right to her, like, you can't leave them there, you can't leave them there. And she leaves. She comes back in a while. They didn't say how long it took her to come back. She was like, oh, I told you guys to walk home. And they, like, protected those kids. Like, there was a circle around the kids, like, nah, you can't take this kid. You can't take these kids with you. So that was dope. However, when it was a wealthy family, everybody steered clear. Like, they had her in an SUV. She's wearing, you know, all the jewelry. Her kids are well dressed, everything. She tells me to get out, sit on a chair. And this guy walks up and he says, well, just do what your mommy tells you. What? It's two little kids. When I say little, they're like 8 and 6. And the mom is leaving them there on a public, you know, whatever people sit on. I forget what it's called. Sorry for my slow moment. People sit. Bench. There you go. Public bench. And you tell them to stay there. Where's calling of the police? Where's the kid? And he left. And he had a kid. That's the craziest thing. And he just left. You left two little kids there to fend for themselves. I don't like that. But whatever. What can I do? What else? People really did just steer clear and nobody basically gave a crap. And finally, all the way at the end, this one lady, she was being all therapeutic to them. Like, you know, well, you shouldn't act this way. And this is what you should do. You have to respect your mom and stuff like that. And when she came back, when the mom came back, she even was saying to the mom, she's like, I know life is difficult, but you know, like, just sit back and take a breather. Like, she was really being like a therapist to kind of like help them not encounter the situation again, which is just as dope as helping them out, you know? She didn't leave the kids alone. She just stayed there until the mom came. When the mom did come, like I said, she spoke to her. It was really nice. What the show said, though, was that because of a certain class, like, they, how do you put it? People are more likely to respond, like, to act with a class lower than their own. I guess because they feel, this is my opinion now, I guess because they feel like they have more rights to say something. Because I imagine that if somebody wealthy does something, it's like, you know, well, they're rich. I don't know. Like, they just feel like there might be consequences or something for, like, going against the rich, wealthy people. I don't know. I just feel like they undermine themselves when it comes to people they feel are above them. So I guess they feel like they don't have the right to say anything to this mother who left her kids, or felt their kids deserved it, or felt that, who cares, just another pair of rich kids, snotty rich kids, you know? I don't know what the deal is. But out of those 3 scenarios, the one that touched me the most was the domestic abuse one, because a lot of times this goes on with nobody saying anything. So, you know, just share your opinions with me. What do you think you would do in those situations? And you might want to check out the show. There's a lot of interesting stuff. Like, I think a lot of times the stuff I've watched on there, I probably wouldn't have done anything, but now that I realize I should do something, you know, if I ever come across a situation, I'll be useful. Alright, then that's all I have to say for today. See you next time. Good night.